Good morning, ladies. It is, hope you can hear me okay. Just making sure this is set up well. Awesome. So it is Friday morning. We've got today, Saturday, and Sunday left of what I thought was a 7-day challenge, and then I realized that Sunday to Sunday is it 8 days? Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm very sleepy because last night we are going camping this weekend, and we got to my nephew's last night and we slept, but we didn't really sleep because the dogs were all over us all night long, or at least me. So if I'm a little bit sleepy, you'll understand, but I am still, hence the power of focus, right? Let's put it into play. So let's talk about, today is day 6, and what I'm going to share with you today is extremely vital, and I'm going to explain to you the why behind it. Remember, knowing the why clarifies so much in every area. The why of your goal, the why of why things are important, and all of what I'm teaching you is important, but understanding the why behind it is going to help you actually show up for your life and show up for yourself and follow through on these things. So I'm going to do a quick recap again. First of all, in the group, I've been asking you guys about, I'm going to run the challenge again, or what did someone say? Not challenge, but the goal plan. So I think I'm going to actually call it the, kickstart your goals, something like that. So anyways, essentially this whole thing is all about goal kickstart, breaking the cycle of commit, quit, feel like shit in your life, and creating lasting habits. So that is the essence of this. And let me tell you a story about all of these tools, everything that I'm teaching you. This is stuff that I have collected along my journey. This is stuff that has changed my life. This has been the process of healing in my world, and they're the things that I've actually put into practice and have seen me become the woman and becoming the woman that I desire to be, living the life that I desire to have. So I was driving so I've been spending my mornings at the beach just thinking and writing. And one morning after doing that, I left and I was driving down the road, and I had this moment where I was like, what is it? What is one of the most pivotal things in my life? And it was that I had been able to break out of the cycle of commit, quit, feel like shit. And let me tell you, I had a whole story about the why. That was my blueprint, the story of why I was that way. And it was like I went to battle to prove that story was true, not just with other people, but in my own mind. And so it is so key to recognize what is going on in your own head and in your thoughts. And so as I was driving down the road, I'm asking myself, I'm contemplating, what is it that really was the shift? What is it that I do now that was so different from what I did before? And it just it was bang, 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 bang. It was literally these 7 things that I'm going through with you right now. And so just the recap here. So understanding the motivational triad of pain, pleasure, and ease, right? So this is just the way our brains are created and wired for survival, and our brains are a tool that we have to use on this earth. So pain, pleasure, and ease. Then we have removing the shoulds. So this is how you create a lasting habit. This is how you break that cycle of quit, feel like shit. This is how you kickstart your life into the direction of achieving your goals. So understanding that motivational triad, removing the shoulds, and deciding the wants and the desires. Using desire, don't let it use you. Understanding that. Connecting to your why. Connecting to the why it matters, 7 layers deep. If you have not done that exercise, if you guys are struggling in any area, if you guys are stuck, if you maybe haven't taken any action, it's totally okay. Just pick up where you are right now, today. But if you're struggling, shoot me a message, and it's something that I will talk about and address on these videos, because if you're struggling, other people are probably struggling in the same area. So please let me know what that is, because I want to help shift you into a place of taking action. So, and if you're on these calls, please give me a thumbs up, ask questions, engage with me. And even if you're not on the call, but you're watching the replay, please comment, say stuff. I want to hear your feedback. I want to do this better next time than I'm doing it now. So if you're already, if you're in this challenge, but you haven't really been able to give it your all or jump all in, now you kind of know the gist of it without all of the bugs, and you can join me next week again. And I would love for you to really, get it in you, get it deeper in you. But being able to connect and know your why, and understanding your blueprint, your life circumstance, and the gap. Yesterday we talked about focus, the power of focus, how to use focus, and the things that you choose to focus on. Your life is made up of the decisions that you make. And so what you decide to focus on is going to be the direction that you head. Today, so this is literally I was driving on the road, and these are the things that came to me, is that I understand the motivational triad. I removed the shoulds, and I made a decision on what it was that I wanted. I understood desire and how to decrease and increase my desire. So I want to use my desire to draw me like a magnet to the goals that I have. And then I connect to, and I know my why, and I connect to it. It's what fuels me. It's one of those ingredients that it's that seed that you don't just water once. It's got to be consistent. You have to understand how to use it, and then continue to use it and tweak it as you go. So, and then understanding your blueprint, the gap, and life circumstance. That's another part of my whole breaking the cycle. And the power of focus. And so, why did my computer just shut down? The power of focus. And then this next one is vital. And this is something I dealt with for many years. For many years, I was in an extremely abusive relationship. And there was a lot of wounds, a lot of pain, a lot of shame that I hid from the outside world. I hid it because I was ashamed of it, right? When you are ashamed, it's like you don't want anybody to see that. And so you don't show up vulnerable, and you don't show up in the full capacity of who you are. And it wasn't until I was able to work through that stuff that I was able to break free. But the abusive relationship that I was in was with myself. It was not with somebody else. And I didn't even realize what I had been doing and the magnitude of it. So you can't change something unless you're aware of it. And so first becoming aware of it, because this is what people do. They become aware of it and then they beat themselves up even more for having these thoughts of like, I'm not good enough. I'll never be able to do this. I've been trying for so long. Look at my past and, all my fuck ups and all my track record, all of that. And we just, like, our brains just want to go around that same pattern of thinking over and over and over again. And me believing, this was such a great breakthrough for me. It was like everything, the way that my emotional home was scarcity. It was lack. It was not enough. Everything was centered around, I never had enough time. I never had enough money. I never had enough knowledge to put my voice out there. I just like was never enough. It was this belief system that was so ingrained in me. And like I said, you can't change something unless you're aware of it. And I saw glimpses of it. I understood it. But it wasn't until one day I was like, enough is enough. And like, I don't know if my mom used to always say to me, enough is enough. When I was like wild and crazy and wouldn't stop doing what I was doing. And she had asked me 10 times. But she would say, enough is enough. And one day I was like, enough is enough. I am so done with this. I'm done. So when we're talking about the absolute must in your life and the absolute must nots, mine was like, enough is enough. There's no more of this not enough thinking. I'm done with it. It's like absolutely line in the sand. I'm done. And so it doesn't mean my brain doesn't want to keep thinking it, because it's that rut, it's the neural pathway, it's the blueprint. And so my brain wants to take me back there. But I notice, it's like, those signs that have the words that cross through, and it's like they just keep going around, right? That's how I see my brain, is that it offers me these thoughts. And what people really don't understand is that just because you have a thought, first of all, does not mean it's true. What makes a thought true is if you choose to believe that it is true. So we have these thoughts. The second thing is, just because you have a thought doesn't actually mean it's your thought. This is a really interesting concept. So you think about like the evolution of our world and how long our world has been around. Like, you think me thinking that I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough smarts, I don't have enough whatever it is, you think I'm the first one to think that shit? No. How many of you can actually say that, yeah, I've had that thought? Yeah, a lot of us, because it is just a thought of mankind that comes from a place of fear, and we think that we're stating a fact. And so when we do this and we don't question those thoughts, what ends up happening is they become a belief system in us. A belief system is thoughts that we have thought so many times over that it just drops down into who we are. It's no longer in our heads, it is in our hearts. It is how we function out of life. It's the blueprint. And so it comes back to, and this is like the whole thing about the seed, the analogy of the seed, because thoughts are like little seeds that are planted. I'm not sure where this comes from in me, but I have this response that when I hear something about someone calling a child stupid, or anybody stupid, but really when it's a child, that really gets my goat. But If I hear somebody call somebody stupid, I guess it probably comes from a place in me that I believed that about myself. And it was such a painful thing for so many years of my life. And so that it's like it hits the core of me. I feel this like ping of pain, deep pain. And I want to defend whatever it is that is being called that, because it's just like, to me, I'm like, it is so not true and it's so damaging. And if we just take these thoughts and we believe them, it gets planted like a seed inside of us, and we live our lives and we nourish that seed. So coming back to the whole seed analogy, right? You plant the seed and then you feed the ingredients to that seed that the seed needs to grow. Well, our thoughts, the ingredients that they need to grow, is we keep thinking them. We add belief to them because we keep thinking them. And when we believe in something, that is what we act out of. And so talking to you guys about, you know, the whole mustard seed analogy and being able to understand the ingredients needed for you. And part of what I'm doing here is I'm planting these little seeds in your mind, these thoughts, this idea that this could be possible. And the belief has to come from you. You have to, and I will actually feed that belief by continuing to share with you and continuing to talk to you, and you will hear this and it starts to go, that could be true. It starts to shift your brain. It starts to shift your perspective. And what I want it to do is get from here to drop down into you, where it becomes who you are. It becomes your emotional state. It becomes it is your being. It is who you are, but you have to keep hearing it. That's why I'm saying about input and output. You have to keep feeding that new way of thinking, that new perspective, because if you don't, that little seed is going to die. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be things that come up that are going to be screaming, saying that this is not true. You can't do this. All of that old thinking. Now, I've been encouraging you guys to encourage others. I've been saying, you know, plant those seeds of encouragement into other people's lives in this group. Be cheerleaders for each other. Give back, because that's all the principles about what we're learning. But this is what I want to talk to you about today, more importantly than anything, is how are we speaking to ourselves? What is it that we're saying to ourselves? Because no matter how much somebody tells you something, if you are not feeding that to yourself, if you can't get that to the place of a belief, then you'll never live out of that place. And the way that you feed your belief is by continuing to keep your focus on the things that build the belief, which is another reason I said no news for 7 days. That shit does not build your belief in who you are and your dreams and the possibilities of life. No, that builds your belief in what's going on in the world, in the fact that you can't do it, in the fact that, you know, like, who are you to be able to break out of what it is that you're in and the place that you're in your life, right? And so this is the purpose of you feeding that belief and actually spending time doing that. I don't know if any of you are Bob Marley fans, but I've been singing this song all morning. Stir it up, little darling, stir it up. And that's exactly what we have to do in our own lives, is we have to stir up that belief. We have to be continually putting in the right ingredients and continuing to feed that. Get knocked down, you have a thought that takes you out, you have a circumstance that happens and your thoughts are full of fear, you know what? You have to be able to bring yourself back in your focus and everything that I've been teaching you this week. And so when you believe more than anyone else, that's when you see, like, I think it was the dude that built the car, Ford. Anyway, Thomas Ford? It's Thomas Ford. Anyways, no, I don't think so. Sheesh. Sleepy brain. The Ford dude, he had a vision in his mind about what he wanted to build, and everybody kept telling him, can't be done. He had like a whole team of people working on it for over a year, and they just kept engineers coming back to him like, it can't be done. We can't build it. He was like, yes, you can. You're going to figure it out. Don't stop. Here's all the money. Put all your energy, put all your time. This is your focus. Do not stop focusing on it until we figure it out. And for a whole freaking year, guys, think about that. That's like 365 days of these guys who keep coming back to them. So there's going to be shit that comes at you but when you have decided and committed and you find that resolve within you, that's like, there's no way that this is not happening. That is where he was at. And he just continued to build his belief. He didn't let the voices, the naysayers, what other people were saying. He encouraged himself. He became his own cheerleader. He kept that vision so clear in his mind that there was and he didn't know the how. He did not know the how. But he was so freaking clear on why it was important to him. And that is what you guys have to plant down inside of you. All of the things that I've been teaching you. Watch these videos over and over and over. If you have to just like watch them every day for the next 6 months, you might get kind of crazy, charity crazy. But you have to get that inside of you where all of a sudden you start to feel a shift. And like, have you ever met someone that it's like a friend that you're like, you're so amazing, you know, like you're so awesome in this way and that way, and they're just like, no, I'm not. They don't see it. They don't believe it. I have one girlfriend that I think she's like so creative, and I've known her for years now, and I always tell her how creative she is. She's like, no, I'm not. You're creative. I'm not creative at all. She just does not see. So it's like, if we do not believe that about ourselves, we're never going to use that amazing gift and ability that's within us. We're never going to show up that way. No matter how much someone tells you. You see these relationships where the women are like, he just like, you know, he keeps telling her, I love you. And she's like, I just don't know if you actually love me. And he's like, I don't know what else I can do. I freaking love you. And it's because they really don't believe that they are lovable. And so if we do not speak to ourselves kindly, if we don't stop this verbal abuse that we have, if we are not aware of it, if we do not see it, and then start to choose something different, because remember, not our thoughts aren't all true. They're true because we choose to believe that they are true. Second of all, they're not ours. They're just like these passed on ways of thinking that have been around forever. Everybody else has these thoughts too. It's like when you watch a TV show, they're geniuses at this. They tell a story that draws you in. They're saying words. They're saying thoughts. It evokes an emotion in you. And then you're sitting there crying. It's a friggin' TV show, right? That is exactly what goes on in our brains. We have these thoughts that we don't question. We just believe as truth. We then feel that, we haven't measured up, that we failed again, that we're just not good enough, whatever it is. And then we feel defeated. And guess what? When we feel defeated, when we're trying to go after our goals and do better in life and find growth, that does not lead you to success. It's like a client texted me yesterday. She had a plan, then she didn't follow the plan, and then she was just beating herself up. So she's in this cycle, right? Commit, quit, feel like shit. Beating herself up. And I said to her, if you had a puppy that you're training how to walk, and that puppy keeps pulling the leash, do you like just sit there and beat that puppy into submission? Yeah, some people do, because that is their blueprint. It's who they are. They don't even know how to treat a puppy with love and care. They don't treat themselves with love and care. And so why do we continue to do this to ourselves, to beat ourselves up, to be in these emotional, abusive relationships, these verbally abusive relationships with ourselves? So hold on a second. So let me bring it back to the mustard seed. I almost went on a tangent, but I gotta keep myself focused here. So let's bring it back to the mustard seed, right? So you have the potential. The mustard seed has all of the potential in the world. You have the knowledge of what to do with the mustard seed. You have the ingredients, and then you take action and you plant it and you nourish it. This is exactly how the shift in our lives starts to happen, is the potential of a thought is huge. You believe that you're stupid and not good enough and you'll never get there your whole life. Guess what? What kind of results are you going to get? But you do like the Ford dude, and you do the things, like everything that I'm teaching you, he did. He's an example of it. Every super successful inventor and innovator and world changer, they put these principles into practice in their lives. And so taking the thoughts and planting them and giving them the ingredients that you need, that those thoughts need, those thoughts begin to flourish inside of you. It becomes a belief system. You're building that belief that this is possible and certainty. And when you start to feel this belief rise up in you, this certainty that's is unshakable, it's like totally giving me goosebumps. That is when you start showing up in your greatness, in all the things that are within you. But you've got to start seeing this. It's like what Dr. Daniel Amen calls them, ants, automatic negative thoughts, just programmed. It's not you. Don't identify with them. Don't identify with them, because when you identify with them, you drop that down into your gut. They're just your thoughts. It's just your brain. And so when you're able to go, wait, that's not true. That's not true. You know what? The potential, if you can't believe in who you are, this is where I want to tell you to start. Just believe in your human potential. If there was a baby in front of you right now, you wouldn't be like, oh, well, that baby's screwed. Let's see what they do in life. No, that baby has all of the potential in the world. Nothing can change the potential of that baby. Nothing can change the potential of you. But what happens is we are raised in families, we're spoken to in certain ways, we experience certain things. It shapes, the way I see it is like these glasses that continue. You have lens after lens after lens, and you start to see the world this way. And you start to show up a certain way because it makes you feel a certain way. And then you act, and the way you do things in life. And then you start getting these results that you don't even like. And what we have to do is start taking these lenses off so that we can start to see us for ourselves. So your lenses might be friggin' mile thick. I don't know where you're at. But right now, all you have to do is the 1 degree a day. You start to see the lenses. You start to remove those lenses. And you start to nourish a different way of thinking. And wherever you are right now, you can start to shift that and just believe in the human potential. Because if you can build the belief in that, then you can move to the next level of it and start to believe in who you are. And I get it, when you're at rock bottom, to be able to see anywhere outside of it is very difficult. I've been there many times over. And so when you can start to see the blueprint and the life circumstance, you see your gap, and you know you can either blame or you can change. But when you drop into the place of believing that you don't have control over anything, that's when you truly begin to feel suffering. It's when you truly begin to feel like there's no hope. And I want to tell you that there is hope. The potential of a human is infinite. It's decided before you were even born. It's like Steve Jobs and making the iPhone. If he gave it to an alien who didn't know what technology was, guess what? The phone wouldn't be able to do much. You give it to somebody who's 90, who doesn't even know what a cell phone is. Well, maybe they do now. I don't know. They have no idea what the potential is. They have no idea the power of the phone. They'll just use it as a phone. That's it. If they even know how to do that. Or they'll use it as a paperweight. If you don't understand the potential is fully built into that iPhone. The creator of it, Steve Jobs, created it to do a certain thing. He gave it all the capabilities that it needs to do what he wants it to do. That's like you. You've got all the capabilities already built into you. And it's about starting to learn what you're learning this week. And you start to build that belief and that certainty. And all of a sudden, something starts to shift inside of you. And you start to see different results in your life. But you have to do something. You have to take action. And, so often, and maybe this is what you're thinking this week, like that, so often we want to know the how. We just want to know the how. Just tell me, Charity. Just give me 1, 2, 3. How many people know that what you need to do to lose weight and they're not doing it? It's simple. We all know, listen to your body, get in tune, eat for fuel, move your body, get your hormones balanced. Like there's so much, right? There's so many different things you can start to learn and start to do. But the how isn't the problem. It's knowing where you are, knowing what you want, knowing your why, all of the ingredients I'm teaching you this week, and then it's putting that into action. And so I'm leaving the how till the very end of this week. And the reason for that is you can know the how, you can do the how, but if you don't know the other things before that, you're going to be white knuckling it. You're going to be trying to just freaking get through, to just stick to the food plan, to just stick to the goals, to just try. Why is this not working? It's because the other stuff hasn't dropped down into who you are. And I'm telling you, you bring this stuff in, you start working on this stuff, you start committing to this stuff, you decide, you commit, you find resolve, you take action, you'll get there. You show up imperfectly. You be willing to feel defeated and ashamed and embarrassed and whatever is going to come up for you. But when you're willing to look that shit in the face and start walking towards it, you start to build a muscle. You start to realize you're stronger than you thought. And you start to build that belief and that faith inside of yourself so that you can start to show up as a totally different human. And I think that is where I'm going to end. So I'm going to send you your tool. I'm going to send you the action step for the day. And this weekend I'm going to be camping, so you're going to see me at the campsite. But I'm still going to be showing up. Yo, I'm so dedicated to this. So I feel like there was one more thing, but we are at the 35-minute mark. And I really am making a strong effort to stick to that. Just know that you are created with all of the potential, everything inside of you. Your worth is 100%. You can't change that. It doesn't matter how you show up. It doesn't matter what you see in your life right now. You are 100% lovable. Your lovability cannot be changed. It is who you are. But whether you feel like you're lovable is up to you choosing the thoughts that are going to support that belief. Because it's there. All we have to do is nourish that little tiny seed inside of you, that human potential. So on that note, I hope that, Sandra, I love you. Sorry, I haven't been looking at messages because, actually, let me just scroll through. I'll quickly see if there's something I need to respond to here. So interesting. We all have different triggers. Yes. I get fired up when people are emotionally out of control. Yes. I get triggered when people make decisions that affect me without asking me for input. Yes. And this is all because of that blueprint, right? There's a gap between what we think it should be and what is actually happening. And in here is the pain. We feel like we can't control it. Or if we think we can, then what we do is we end up trying to control the people around us because that discomfort in the gap is not comfortable and you don't like it. And so this is what happens. If you haven't seen that video, go back. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you, Sandra, for always being so encouraging and telling me I'm pretty. Love you too. Love you all. And I hope that today you notice when your little brain wants to offer these bullshit thoughts about who you are, when it wants to abuse you, stop it. If you had a friend who was like verbally abusing herself, telling her, oh, I'm just so worthless, I'm so ugly, I'm such a failure, you'd be like, shut the fuck up. You need to stop, right? If she was punching herself in the face, you wouldn't keep letting her punch herself in the face. Stop doing it to yourself. And the crazy thing is when we feel discouraged and defeated and like a piece of shit, you think that helps us actually continue to take action towards our goal? No! It's totally the opposite. It gives us the result that we actually don't want. So what is it for? It's because we have this blueprint, this way of thinking that we think that's what we're supposed to do. So I'm telling you right now, that should be like, for those of you who posted on your absolute must no longers, amazing if you put that. No longer beating yourself up. No longer going to believe that shit. No longer going to think that when you think it, it's going to be there. It's just that sign, right? Pre-programmed. Think it, let it go by. Sometimes I'll say to my brain, I see you, brain. I see what you're doing. Offering me something. It's like offering me a popsicle on a hot sunny day. I think I'm going to take it, but I don't. I don't, because I know that on the other side of it is actually not serving me. And so I'll let that one pass. I'll let that one pass. And you'll notice this disturbance inside of you. That's what you need to let pass. Just let it go. Let it go. So I'm going to give you your tool of the day. It's going to help you dig in a little bit deeper. And yeah, I'm so freaking pumped. I'm so pumped. I am going to be talking about the plan. Is it the plan? The plan. Yay, plan. Tomorrow. Oh yeah, what I want to ask you guys more about is, I see you, brain. Love it. So good. I see you, brain. It was about my upcoming, please join me again. I wanted to ask you guys your feedback. Oh, right. If any of you are getting something amazing out of this week, I am going to ask a huge ask. Somebody already offered it and got me thinking, this is actually what I want to do. If you can send me just a little picture of yourself, and for those of you who would do a video, that would be incredible. I know a lot of people are not comfortable being on video. So if you can send me a little quick short snippet of a video of like how this has helped you, whatever it may be, please, I would be so grateful to you for that. But if you don't want to do video, just do a quick little voice recording of like the one most valuable thing that you have gotten out of this that you know is going to shift you into a different direction. I want to put and a photo of yourself that you like. I want to put together just like a quick little video that I'm going to throw on my site or throw it on social media to encourage others to do this. Because if this has changed your life, this is why I'm giving this away for free. It's changed my life. I want to change other people's lives. I want to the more people we can get on this, the more people I can get to love themselves. My goal, my passion, my purpose is to bring more love into this world. Love is the answer to everything. I am fully convinced to the freaking core of me. So the more I can increase love in this world, help me do that. Please, that is my mission. Help me reach my 1 million women. That is my goal. So if you can do that for me, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. On that note, it's 42 minutes now. I'm so sorry. I think I was just steering it up. We got to steer it up. Come on, all my Bob Marley fans. Okay, so I love you, and you'll get your email for today, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to tag some friends on one of your videos on your profile talking about joining next week to encourage them to join. See more? Yes, thank you, Eden. I really appreciate that. So maybe just give them an FYI that I do swear and I'm not a typical person, totally radical. So they're not surprised. Well, actually, you don't have to if you don't want to. But I love you all. Have an amazing day. And I hope this video finds you well. And if it doesn't, I hope that it helps you to shift in the direction of well. So, love you.